Welcome to Speak Sex. I am your host, Eurydice. I am very excited today to have my guest. He's the famous actor Haaz Sleiman. Mm-hmm. And he's here in Miami because he will be honored with a Vanguard Award this Sunday at the 11th annual Fort Lauderdale edition of the Outshine LGBTQ Film Festival. So the award is the previous award winners included like Gloria and Emilio Estefan and whatever. So it's going to be at the closing.
James Franco.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So Haaz is a recently out gay Muslim actor in Hollywood, and he has overcome tremendous obstacles to share his story of strength, truth, and acceptance. Say something?
Hey, sexy.
Yeah, hey, sexy.
I love your tattoos. I want to know everything about each tattoo. And I want to know if you regret any of these. It's actually really
I don't.
What I love the most about your tattoos is how original they are. Like I've never seen.
Yeah, I'm written all around. Yeah, it's like kind of snake. Right.
Great. I love that. Yeah. I always wanted to get an Arab tattoo. Do you have, what language is this?
I don't have Arabic. I should.
Wait, what is it?
You know, my thing is that like I only get languages I speak. So I would need to study Arabic enough to choose something. Because like
Julie has a very hot Arabic tattoo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which made me happy. I'm like, yeah, go Angelina, because I never
what does it say?
I don't know, but I never see any celebrity like have an Arabic tattoo. So it's like
I would need to take like an Arabic class. I mean, that's just like my way. I have to study it enough. Cause I don't want to go to.
It looks like you should have an Arabic tattoo.
Oh, I should. Okay. Okay, goals. Next time I see you, I would have one.
I mean, like you can obviously you want to make it personal, but I don't know what this all means. I'm sure all of it has a meaning.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, and I would be curious, because you're kind of a person that is interesting to me to know what kind of wisdom affects you or moves you or shaped your life. I'm sure there's something in there about it. Mm-hmm. How is this? This is bad?
No, this is good. Okay. You know, it's interesting to me because you move so much. You're very kinetic as a person, right?
I am very.
So you move and then...
I have a lot of energy.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll stay calm.
No, I like it. No, well, yeah, for the mic, it's better if you stay calm.
I don't want you to say you're like, it's like, I'm like, how about I do this? And now we're good. As if I'm sucking a dick. And I'm actually really good at it.
Yeah.
I'm very good at it. I really am very good at it, actually. Because, some people suck at it.
They do?
Yeah. Oh, well, you don't have a dick to know what I'm talking about.
True, I don't.
Yes, like I actually, some gay guys really are bad at it. And I was like, no, please don't suck my dick. Let me suck your dick. And
how
maybe
can you be gay and not know how to suck cock?
They're gay
like,
guys
what else do you need to learn?
They're gay men who are terrible kissers.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
I guess they're in any sex or any like...
Yeah, right. You don't have to kiss that well, but if you can't suck dick...
No, you have to kiss really well for me. Really? For me, if you don't kiss well...
Because you're a romantic.
Yeah. I'm romantic, but I'm also very sensual. I'm very... I love to feel...
But you're a lover, because you said, I'm always with something. I mean, how come you're not with someone?
I'm more like I'm very shy. I'm more like a woman, like mentally and emotionally. So for me, it's that sort of shyness. I need to feel safe.
Feel like you belong to somebody.
I need to feel safe. Like I'm the vulnerable one. If you're gonna enter me, I better be feeling like, okay, you got me. You got my back.
Wow.
Not to feel like, I don't know. Like,
I
don't know if it's a cultural thing. Maybe growing up in Lebanon with my mom. My mom is a very interesting woman.
You'll tell me about your mom. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Are you sure?
Yes.
I mean, she's from an older generation too. Obviously. So there's that as well.
Right.
Like there's evolution when it comes to women and women being empowered, more equal to man.
Right. What makes her unique? Besides being your mom.
Her sensitivity, her shyness. Her shyness is so pure. It's like a very lovely quality about that I actually like. But at the same time, it's a double-edged sword. So it's really beautiful, but at the same time, it's almost reductive. Or no, it's almost like she's not allowing herself the fullness of the experience of what it means to be human because of it. And I'm actually going through the same way as a gay man, my version of it. Her being a woman, me being like I was just telling Carlos, like if I'm in a club and I'm attracted to a guy, I would never go up to the guy. He would have to come to me, just like a woman would expect for a guy to come to her.
Right.
I actually think
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
No one taught me that. And I think it came from my mom, just seeing what kind of a woman she is, how she is with men. Like, she even would tell me stories like, yeah, when I was a girl, I was like 8, 9. There was like a neighbor and he was cute, but she would never give him time of day. I was like, why, Mom? She's like, because I'm shy. I don't want to do that. I'm like, interesting. And then she's like, yeah, my dad, like my grandfather, was the opposite. He told her to go, have fun, date. She wouldn't. So it was not like someone forced her to be that way. It's something kind of innate, which is really strange. I don't know. I'm fascinated with what's innate or maybe that you're born with versus what shapes you in society as you're growing up.
Well, I'll tell you why because I think it's a good start. I'll tell you why I'm not with a guy, right?
Okay.
Because for a similar reason, like your mom, which I think it is the women in the old world, meaning I feel like if I am with a man, I can't help myself. I like become my mother, and my mom,
so
like my mom was a virgin, married my dad, stayed with him, even though she hated it, the whole thing,
Yeah.
And she had guys go after her. She would never dare. She'd be like, she would always tell me, you can't trust men. You can't trust men. That little thing.
I agree with her.
Yeah.
I'm becoming that. Let me tell you. Oh my God, I'm so over men. I wish I could fucking just marry a woman.
Pegging. There is
No, I
always
just marry a
pegging.
woman and just like. Well, I tried actually. I married a woman. I tried to become straight actually, but that was not the same reason why I would want it now.
No,
the reason why I would want it now is because I really think women are more thoughtful. I really think women are more sensitive, thoughtful, and considerate, and that's a very important quality for me that I find it rare to find in men, unfortunately.
Maybe you need like a really hardcore butch lesbian.
Actually,
Have you thought of that?
It's funny you're saying that. Often
With
when
like
I find myself
a permanent strap on.
No, I actually go to like dyke bars or lesbian bars. I'm like, oh, she's so hot.
Hot, right?
She looks like a man.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And you know what's also
Yeah.
interesting? I've recently found myself attracted to trans men. Yeah. Like, and then I don't know that the trans men, I'm like, oh my God, he's so beautiful. It's like, why is he beautiful like that? Trans man. I'm like, huh.
The best of both.
And I find myself attracted to bottoms. And I'm a bottoms. I'm like, Jesus.
What are we going to do now?
I think it's the sensitivity in the eyes that really appeals to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's what
important
it
to-
is. Yeah.
I think it's like I'm attracted to vulnerability.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm attracted to seeing someone that I can really see them, but just by looking into
Truly,
their eyes.
yeah.
Like I can
Yeah.
really see their
Yeah.
energy,
Yeah.
their intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, that's our background. Like, because back where we come from, there is no talking about sex.
No.
There is no such thing. Speak sex is like gibberish. No one would understand.
They shame you
So
about
it's
it. They
all in
shame
the
you about
eyes.
it. Yeah.
90%
No.
of what we in America do, like with other ways, it's
Yeah.
done by gazing. And you say so much, right? You
yeah.
communicate with your eyes,
Yeah,
and you can like leave a place where you've just met. You don't have to say anything, and you can follow each other out.
Yeah.
And it's all because of this thing with the eyes,
but
which in America, on the other hand, doesn't happen.
What,
Like,
the
just
eyes?
going with the eye thing alone.
Yeah.
Because like in
Where do you
America,
think
I don't
it-
even know what they would mean. Like in the East, I can understand what they mean with their eyes.
Oh,
In America,
interesting.
there isn't really the equivalent.
Huh.
So I would have no idea if I'm making it up or not.
But which is better now? I'm confused.
I don't know which is better, but like I'm saying, I'm getting the thing that you're saying. You have to see something in their eyes, and you have to feel them in the eyes, because that's where that comes from.
Yeah, I think it's more about being open and genuine. That's it. So I think if you're genuine, I'll see it. I don't care who you are. Just be genuine. And I think that's becoming such a rare quality. Like, even if you look at film and television, when do you see a movie with a leading character that is the cool qualities about that character is that person is so genuine. I rarely ever.
Yeah.
It's always about badass or whatever, or you know what I mean, like a asshole in the right way or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Cool.
Yeah. And it's mostly about action instead of
or like you're so detached and cool, and you can deal with these things. But I feel I think it's interesting because it's mirroring the world that we live in, and it's that like it's
We're
such
all
an underrated.
outwardly.
It's a very underrated quality to be genuine, and I think it's because we live in a world where everyone's trying to survive, and we're like 7 billion going into 8 billion. You know what I mean? Like, so there's no time to be genuine. It's like, no, it's mine. No, it's mine. It's like, you know what I mean? Everybody wants something from someone. Everyone wants to get somewhere, and I feel. I'm in Hollywood, so you know what I'm saying. Like, I think that's
rough.
Amplified there.
I don't know how you do
know
it.
I mean?
It's
well,
rough.
I don't have many active
I'm
friends.
very impressed.
I don't have active friends. I don't have like people in Hollywood as friends. Not interested in that. I'm more interested in people who are not in my
real
world.
people. Good.
Yeah, like other professionals, other careers.
Yeah.
I think it just like adds more to my life. Like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Because I already am in the acting world. Like, I don't need,
Yeah,
but
and also like with actors, I feel like there is always the possibility that they are in character.
like, in other words, just like, are you acting
and don't
right
even
now?
know it.
Yeah,
maybe they don't even know it, but like they're trying out the personality for a while on you.
But are you ready for me to answer that right now, or respond to that? Because I've heard that. Oh, you're an actor. Oh, are you acting now? I'm like, no, I'm a good actor because I tell the truth. I don't lie.
Nice.
And that's like that's how I approach it.
You tell the truth even when you are acting, working. Exactly.
That's why I move people. My work moves people.
Yeah.
I'm only interested in touching people. That's why I'm an actor. And to inspire, to enlighten, to empower.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think that comes I can only touch people if I'm showing the truth.
Yeah.
And I can only make people feel that they're not alone and they're seen and heard by showing their truth through my work.
Yeah.
And so I feel like for me, it's the opposite of like, like in general, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're an actor, so you're a liar.
Yeah.
You're a good liar.
Yeah.
I was a good liar in Lebanon, though, when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
Survived. Like that then came from
So when did you know that you were gay?
God, I knew I was weird.
Weird?
And different. Yeah, I mean, because I'm expressing it the way I felt it when I was 7. I thought I was weird when I was 7.
But it was Beirut, so it was like a cosmopolitan.
UAE,
oh, okay.
Emirates,
wow.
Like
That's not. I mean, that was not Lebanon.
No, I think I actually had a foot fetish at age 7, and I didn't even know.
Wait, boy foot fetish?
Yes.
Wow.
And I was shocked. I was like.
So you went to an all-boys school?
No, it was like in general, like at home or with family and shit. Like
any gender foot.
Huh?
Any gender food or only boys' feet?
And that's when it began. I was like, what is that? I didn't know what it was.
Oh, yeah. That's like 7, refined taste. Yeah.
Yeah, but then at age 7, like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's pretty unusual.
Yes, I'm a very unusual.
Yeah.
And I'm not sharing with you everything yet.
Very unusual.
And I will not share with you everything.
Oh, no.
But no, and then at age 10 is when I knew. Age 10 is when I knew I didn't even know it was called gay, but obviously I knew it was like, what the fuck is that? I actually, with my brother.
So you would get like hard when least expected, so to speak.
No, what happened is my brother stole a couple of my oldest brother. I'm the baby, and we're like 3 boys and 1 girl. So the younger brother stole my oldest brother's couple of his Playboy magazines. So we're like, hey, come, I stole the Playboy magazines. So we're like sitting down looking at them. He opened it, and then we're like, tits. Like, you know.
Girls' tits.
I started fucking laughing so loud. And it was so genuine. It was not unexpected. And and then he flipped it, and there was like a picture of a man with a woman. He's naked, and all of a sudden my jaw dropped, and the world stopped. And he tried to flip it, and I put my hand down, like, don't flip it yet. And I was like, oh no, you can flip it, because I was like,
and
wait.
And he was hard.
Huh?
It was a naked man with a hard on.
I don't recall.
Oh, you don't remember?
I saw his
have been. Why would they have a flaccid dick?
Well, I mean, I'm attracted to flaccid dicks too.
No, I know, but like Playboy would not.
Well, I mean, it could be before they had sex, and they're just like,
something. Maybe he was like well endowed.
But it was just, not even like, honestly, it was just seeing a naked man for the first time, like just rocked my world, and that's when I was like, okay, there's something here.
A naked man is an object of desire, like not your brother in the shower, but a naked man who's in the magazine because he's.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, you're
right?
asking if I ever were attracted to my siblings? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Look at you.
Well, that's where it starts, you know. It doesn't mean you act on it, but Often it starts either with your best friend or with your cousin, right?
I did actually experiment with my cousin.
Of us. Right, yeah.
We would time each other, whatever. I mean, I would actually, here's the really interesting part.
You tied each other?
Time.
Oh, time.
To give heads,
I was like, they tied each other?
Yeah, I don't like to get tied.
That's like so premature.
Yeah, I know.
Precautious.
Oh my God, like, no, there's, I'm shocked that you brought up my sibling. Like, we timed each other to give head. So I would like, basically what we decided, he was like basically decided that because I was happy not to time anything, just do it and go with it. He's like, no, we time each other 5 minutes, you suck my dick, and then 5 minutes, I suck your dick, and then tell me. I was like so into it that I went over the 5 minutes, and I was like, I was getting hard. And I was like, don't get hard. Don't get hard. I was actually literally commanding my brain not to, because if I did, then he would know.
Right. Right. Wow.
And that really actually messed me up later in life. Like it conditioned something in me.
Right, for sure. Like where you would hold on your excitement out of that habit. Right?
I get nervous when I'm with someone I'm really attracted to and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I can see that because of all that conditioning of like hiding the physical response, right? Yeah. And what about your brothers?
What about
you were
them?
saying?
Nothing. They're both married.
Happily married.
I'm not saying they're completely straight. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of there's spectrum and stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely spectrum.
I think one of my, I think both of them might be in an interesting spot in the spectrum. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing about, like Greeks, that's what we're famous for. We're famous for exactly the opposite from the American, definition of gay, which is that like every guy was gay first. Remember? I mean, that's like the setup that
I never understood that though.
You become a man under the tutelage of another older man who has sex with you, and when you're young, you're the bottom,
so it's
and
like a
you
father
learn.
Figure?
It's like a mentor,
like a daddy.
Daddy, exactly.
I need to get me a daddy.
Exactly. But like they didn't have to make that choice, of like I'm gay and I'm coming out. They could still like marry, have babies, but have the relationship with. But then once they get married and have babies, and they are now mature, they get the little boys whom they like introduce into manhood.
Okay, wait, that's like only in Greece because I've never.
That's ancient Greece. It's not, of course, now with Christianity.
Wow, that's so interesting.
I know, right?
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That actually makes me happy.
I know. I know. Me too. Well, the other thing with, at least in Greece where I grew up, it's like every guy had homosexual experiences and they didn't think that made them gay, I went to an all girls school, the boys would go to an all boys school, and so our first experiences were always with our own gender. Right. That's who you play out with, because like they're in your room naked, like when I'm a girl in Greece, there is no boy accessible in my room. My dad would like
even like, I don't know,
oh my God, bring out the sword. Are you kidding me? So like you play with your own.
Like was your father not letting you, let's say, date until a certain age?
Oh my God.
Oh no, you had like
my first boyfriend, so to speak, right? I was in high school. That's why I ran away from home when I was 15. And the reason was that like my dad would follow us. We would like go to the park to kiss. I mean, of course I was a virgin. Yeah, he would follow us. I would be kissing this boy who now runs a film festival in Greece, in Athens actually. And I would turn when my dad would be like hiding in the bushes.
Oh my goodness, Jesus.
And the boy would like run. And it's like,
good
it's
for you
now.
that you ran. Like really,
it's the 70s. It's crazy. It's not like the 50s. I know.
But I'm like,
it
makes me feel proud to hear a woman be so courageous.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So my thing, which is why I like being single officially, is that I told myself I'm never going to belong to a man. I cannot do this because I belonged to my dad. Where we come from, it's like my dad would be like, you carry my name, you represent me in the world, your honor is my honor, anything you do dishonors me, you can't kiss, you can't wear a mini, you can't...
You felt like you were owned and you didn't have your own identity.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like a
And
chattel.
So you didn't want to.
You can't wear blue jeans. You have to wear a skirt, like crazy shit.
But you don't think that you
and
can
he would like
maintain
beat me up to make me like follow the line. And I'm
He would
like
make you diminish you to
14,
make you
and I
need
have
him.
like marks of his hands on my thighs, which of course then you turn into paraphilia. In later life, it turns you on because what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
you gotta turn it around.
But you don't think like as a strong, powerful, and independent woman like yourself can be a woman of her own identity without being defined by a man, but still enjoy being with a man?
Oh yeah, I love being with a man, and I don't. I can turn into a kitten. I can totally be submissive. I can like love him up and down, no problem. It's just like the official, the presentation, like. When I'm out in the world,
turn into a kitten. I'm still thinking about that. You have to elaborate, please, because I need to apply that in my life. I want to be a kitten too.
Yeah.
What is that? Like you mean like you're cuddly and like kind of like almost like love me.
Exactly. That's it.
Okay,
that's the thing.
love me.
It's like,
Yeah. Do you love me?
And you make like cooing sounds. And I don't know, it just comes out naturally. It's like non-stop, like giggling and little purring comes out.
Let's say you're in a relationship with the guy and it's the most amazing relationship. What would that mean in terms of what are you sharing with that man, all the different facets? Like how many facets would that be?
That's a good question, right? I think it's pretty, and I don't know, I think it's pretty endless, because like I can, if he's okay with it, I can be a top. If he's okay with it, I can totally dominate him, do whatever fantasy he would like.
Right.
So that kind of covers a lot.
So in other words, you would have an issue if the guy is not open to try different things, and
I would probably get bored.
Okay.
I would like to be able to try a lot of stuff.
Did you ever like connect with a guy that made you feel judged for your fetishes?
No.
Or like you felt like it's something that is not attractive to him?
Yeah,
how did you deal with it?
I mean, I don't think judge, because like I wouldn't be attracted to a dude who judges like sexuality.
Right.
But I have been with the people who will not join me in fetishes, and eventually like the sex dies down for me. It gets to the place where I feel like he's my brother or my relative. Yeah. Speaking of the siblings, because like the same sex like loses its power.
I can never get married to someone who's not kinky.
Exactly, right?
Because then I would cheat on him. I'm not interested in cheating.
And not just kinky, like,
kinky.
willing to, but kinky, but also like not kinky, because some kinky people like will only do their kink, right? This is my kink. And that can be boring too.
Ooh, okay, so I'm like boring then.
Right?
I'm boring then.
Why?
Because I'm that person. I really am. I swear. I really am that person. So I'm like, okay. I really honestly for a while I'm like, am I selfish? Am I like it's only? But I'm open to trying other things. But
you're open.
I'm open, but here's the thing: some things I can't like get into, and I can't get myself to actually enjoy. And I feel.
Well, you said you don't like to get tied up, for example, which is fine. People
I don't
have
like
issues
to
with
myself of pleasure either.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If I'm the sub and then like if I'm into that
I don't
scene,
like that too. I don't like that either.
Yeah.
I don't like being deprived because I don't see the point of it.
It's like the reason why I'm doing this is because I enjoy it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Why would I do it if I'm not going to enjoy it?
Me too. 100%.
Makes no point,
100%.
Yeah.
And I don't like the lifestyle, because that's to me any lifestylers, because again it becomes.
I'm sorry.
So like you have a relationship where your whole lifestyle, it's not just the sex, but it goes outside the sex.
Hell no.
So exactly, So like he wants to top you while you're doing the dishes, or while you're
like a slave forever.
A slave thing, or whatever his thing is.
I would kill that fucking
I know,
master.
right?
I would
Me
stab
too.
his ass.
Me too.
I would stab
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Because I'm a very powerful person, but I actually really enjoy being submissive in bed.
Yeah.
Really do.
I love this. I have to say, like, my respect for you when I read that when I saw that video you did. I was like, oh my God, I love this man so much.
Thank you. Why did you say that? I want to know why.
because you turned it around, like you destroyed that cliche perception that because you're a bottom, you're not absolutely powerful.
Yes.
Right?
Thank you.
You're like, I'm a total
don't take you
bottom.
seriously.
And if you fucking come to, mess with me, I will kill you.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my God, yes. Yes, on so many levels. Because also like your manhood, right? You are a full man. You're a total man. It doesn't matter how the fuck you get laid, right? But as far as like a human being and,
but like sexism, there's sexism,
Exactly.
which is basically, if you're a man that has a womanly quality, that's you should be shamed or ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, no, motherfuckers, I'm not ashamed.
I love that.
And I'm fucking badass. So
I love that.
You don't want to fuck with me.
I love that.
Which is almost
you don't want like the dragon to come out and burn you.
Yeah, well, yes, exactly. But it was almost like me being a feminist in a strange way. But I mean, nobody else got that. But that was like internal for me, because I consider myself a big feminist.
Interesting.
Huge.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what we women should kind of access that. We should access that instinct more.
Which
like
instinct?
I would like to feel that. I don't because I'm like 5 foot and not even 100 pounds. But I
you're
should
sexy as hell,
it.
so that's all that matters.
But like I would love to be able to feel. I will fight. Like I will take you on physically and destroy you because I do feel fearless.
Yes, you are. I can tell.
Yeah,
from your
I really
energy,
don't
definitely.
have a fear factor.
I mean, baby, just
but
like the fact that
nice.
you're so honest about your sexuality, it's beautiful to me. It's like, that's beautiful because also, we've gotten used to, if a woman's like that, she's a whore, she's a, you know what I mean? Or a slut. I'm like,
we gotta destroy all of those.
Thing. Men can be sluts, but women can't.
Yeah, like, exactly. Yeah. And when a man says I'm a slut, it's so hard. But when a woman says I'm a slut, she's a slut.
Exactly.
It's like the entire slut shame thing rises out from its ashes.
And I really feel like that's all connected to also like the coming out video in a way. I feel for me, it's like that idea of less than versus equal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, that was a brilliant video. I mean, I was just in awe. How did you decide to do it? What made you decide to do it?
Loving, like respecting myself and also really
that's
honestly.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I just actually like an act of respecting myself. I wanted to start to know what it feels like in my body to respect myself. I wanted to know that feeling because it was a very foreign feeling to me. And also like really like the fact that I'm so connected to who I am and how that relates to women, how also, me being a gay man who's a total bottom, how I have really a lot, I feel like I have a lot in common with women. I connect with women a lot. And I think it came from so many places, like the fact that I lied most of my life about who I am. Even like I had an interview with The Advocate, which is like,
I know.
And they asked me, are you gay or straight? I told them I'm straight.
That's wild. I read that and I'm like, what? You did The Advocate?
Like, but then the video, I'm a total bottom.
I know. That journalist must have been like, what the fuck happened?
And I think that had to do with that too. Something. I had to do with the fact that I felt so embarrassed and ashamed of myself for like disrespecting myself first and foremost. And then like actually not inspiring people. And I think the video actually really inspired a lot of young kids from Arab countries, from even just the world, because as bottom shaming is universal. And I got a lot of sort of messages from people, like really great messages. And so I also received a huge backlash from the gay community.
Why?
Because like, you didn't have to share
because you said the word total bottom. That's why. Because they're sexist. They are sexist. Exactly. It doesn't, they can be gay and be.
Thank you. They are. Bottom shaming. In my community, when I first moved here, they shamed me for it. I was embarrassed to be a bottom. I was like always cautious. I don't want people to know I'm bottom. And then like finally, one of my exes was very effeminate. Like you would think he's the bottom. Nope, he was the top and I was the bottom. And for me, that changed me a bit. I was like, I think that's actually amazing that he looks like a bottom,
exactly,
but he's a top.
Yeah.
And that taught me.
And you look like a top,
but
you're a bottom. That's the beauty of it. To me, that's the beauty of it. Because it's proof that like all of our cliche expectations are wrong. So like let go of them.
Absolutely. And be open. Just be open and don't like judge a book by its cover. It's you know what I mean? Like that kind of, because you really rob yourself the chance of really getting to know someone that you actually might be surprised what that person, the effect that they have on your life.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right. And also like getting to know yourself, because a lot of people are repressed because they're stuck in these ideas, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you know, I'm gay, so, but I don't want to be one of those gay people that like look gay or act gay. I mean, how many guys do we know who are gay, but like they will not act it? They feel like they have to be all buttoned up, you know, ramrod straight. You can see the repression, right? And then I have a lot of friends who are bottoms, and they will not, you know, they will come off when you hear them speak. They sound like Trump. I mean, they compensate for it by sound so commanding and bossy. And they're Republicans, right?
That on its own is like, I don't understand.
Insane. But that's how they're compensating, because they're worried.
And gay and Republican. Are you kidding me?
I know, right?
Okay. I'm definitely not going to get with you.
I know. But the thing is that they're doing it, to me, they're doing it to compensate for what they perceive as a lack of power.
It's if like they didn't or lack of self-love.
If they didn't think that what they do sexually in bed had anything to do with like the rest of their life, they would be chill. But they have this idea that being a bottom means that they don't have, you know, that they would be disrespected. So they make up for it by acting super macho.
It's like it's a disgrace if I dress up like a woman because I'm a man, but it's okay for a woman to dress up like a man.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like that. That to me.
Yeah.
That
I
to
agree
me,
with you.
I take that and then I put it in Hollywood. Oh, it's so cool for a straight actor to play gay. Oh, but for a gay actor to play straight. Women are not really cool with that because it ruins their fantasy.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
And that's what I'm struggling from that. I actually, as an actor, because women and men are attracted to me, so that is problematic. In my case,
No way.
Yes.
You've heard of Matt Balmer? So straight.
But once they know it, they don't care. Like, I think the studio executives.
Oh, really? So the woman goes in the movie theater and supposedly because she's read an interview, she now thinks that this is not believable?
Yes. And that's happened. Okay, so Matt Balmer, you know him?
Yeah.
And he's a very beautiful man, right? And he's in White Collar.
Yeah.
He was supposed to do 2 big, huge movies where he's the leading man and obviously straight. Both studios said no because he's too gay. So, we still live in that world.
No,
However,
we still live in that world. We live in that world.
But if you're a character actor like Neil Patrick Harris, hopefully he's not going to watch this.
Yeah, he's not.
Then you're fine because you're a character actor. You
right,
can get away
exactly.
with it. But if you're like both
the romantic lead, they won't give it to you.
Like let's say if George Clooney is gay and it comes out.
He was supposed to be gay for a while, but then he married that
but then
Crusader chick.
But honey, we know that marriage is not like
we know. We know.
I was married for 5 years to a woman.
How was that? What did you do with her?
She's my soulmate, so it was amazing.
Oh, so you didn't
She's
have
my
sex?
baby.
Or
no, we
did?
did. I mean, we dated for 3 years.
Okay.
And we would make out.
Okay. So you closed the deals a few times.
It's a little bit more complex than just that.
You played.
Let's think of it this way. She was my soulmate, so it didn't matter if we had sex or not. It was just something that had to happen. We had to be with each other because I mean, I've never been with anybody like her.
That's nice.
She kind of ruined it for me because I'm like, damn it, D, like you.
Yeah, it's a little like the love story in Bohemian Rhapsody, which is like so cute. You know, his early life.
I mean, for me, it's just like I compare every guy that I'm with to her, and that's not fair. But it's kind of weird too because she's a woman.
I love that.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's how it should be. You know, I mean, true feminism means equality. Equality means gender blind. It doesn't mean that they're, comparing someone regardless of their gender, whom you love, to someone else whom you also love makes sense and it's legit. We shouldn't be like, oh wait, she's a woman, oh he's a man. What? But we are all the same. We all have masculine and feminine in us, right?
Yeah.
And I feel.
Are you aware of the mixture in you? Like,
I am. Percentage? Yeah. Oh, the percentage. No, I don't know.
Give me an idea of how to do that. How is it like, in your body, like the masculine, feminine? How is it like?
Well, I change roles. I can become like the cliche male in the in the relationship as well as in the sex.
Oh, okay.
I totally have a male gaze. I mean, that's like the artist in me. So I don't gaze as a woman so much. I gaze as a guy.
So
right?
interesting. I've never kind of like, that's kind of sophisticated. Let me think about what you just said, gaze.
There is also a lot of masculine in my...
Because I have a fucking womanly gaze then.
You see?
Because I look away.
Yeah.
Like I'm too shy and intense. I can't.
That's
You're like
right?
very like confident. I can't.
Yeah. And I can like, order, I mean, I can direct, stage direct or order the whole scenario.
I can order everything.
Yeah.
I'm very dominant if I want to be, but I'm still very also feminine.
Yeah.
Like I'm very...
Well, that's the best part of being a bottom. Is you get to like create, have control, like create the scene.
Actually, I always thought that the bottom was actually helpless and is not in control.
Oh my God.
But then over the years, like, no, man.
And then you get all the pleasure. You feel everything. And
yeah.
somebody does all the work.
But here's the thing. I don't see somebody does all the work. I think there is that person that you're so compatible with that you're both so happy.
No, they love it. I mean, what they love is exactly,
like,
what they can make you feel, and they love that you have given them this agency.
Yeah.
They love that you trust them.
Right.
That's for them. That's the high, and eventually they get off. But in that exchange, that's the ultimate high for them, right? So, and there is a lot riding on that. That trust is major.
Do you think at all like your masculine side and feminine side clash?
No.
Mm-mm. Why do you think that is with your case? Because for me, sometimes
I'm a true. Oh, really?
Yeah.
How?
I judge my feminine side.
Your feminine side.
I also like. I used to think that it's like a weakness or like something to be ashamed of. Obviously culture, but sometimes they clash because my masculine side wants to go this way, but then my feminine side wants to go that way. And I was like, okay, what the fuck do I do?
Interesting.
Yeah, you never go through that.
You're not a Gemini, are you?
Hell no.
Hell no. Like that sounds like a Gemini. No.
My dad was.
I'm the Pisces.
May you rest in peace.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. My dad was a Gemini. I'm not really. I would never be with a Gemini.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I need to know who the fuck
you are. Who's there?
Exactly. I need that. Integrity is important to me because it makes me feel safe.
And consistency,
integrity, and intention.
Yeah.
Good intention, like well-meaning.
Good intention, right? The capacity to be honest. I mean, if you don't know yourself, you can't be honest.
Genuine. Again, going back to that genuine. Like, like really having good intentions.
Yeah.
Not everyone has good intentions.
No.
Yeah.
No. A lot of people come from a place of ego,
Yeah, or fear or lack or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Selfishness or jealousy. Yeah.
But I think the reason that my masculine and feminine coexist so happily is because I'm really gender blind. Like in a way that I can't explain it. But like, so even in college, like my boyfriend was the guy who changed his hair color every week and wore skirts, So I like men who are feminine and women who are masculine. That's what I'm attracted to. I'm not attracted to the others. And I feel it is a great injustice that guys cannot wear makeup and skirt and heels. As a matter of fact, the way we can, that they can't like cry and emote and go through this, be vulnerable in the way that we can. So like I feel great, injustice on behalf of the men and the masculine,
really
in society.
That's a loving thing, actually.
Right, and it's
true.
true.
What, I actually realized I'm not that very loving to men. I need to like be more like that, because that is true. And then
the whole thing. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that burden of being the provider,
right. Right. Yes. Yeah. Which means you have
like,
to be strong, and you can't break down, fall apart. Yeah.
And you get judged on like what you can purchase. I mean, this is like turning sex into transaction right away for like a whole gender.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, it's a lot of different things, but I really, I'm glad that you shared what you shared about the sort of that harmonious sort of place that you've maybe always been had between the masculine and feminine, and I now understand it's really because you didn't judge neither nor, and you actually had an affinity for both in any shape or form, and it's simply about not having judgment, really. Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's about not taking in like the dominant, inherited, whatever you want to call it.
Masculine, you mean?
No, like the dominant orthodoxy, like the dominant ideas of sexuality, of
patriarchy?
right and wrong,
okay.
Good and bad, whatever, all that dichotomy
Right.
bullshit that we grew up with, we gotta completely reject it,
And
and
basically
pretend like it's not there.
You come up with your own thing?
And well, then you just come up with what's natural, and I think this is natural, right? It's just more natural to
But then
all
what
of
if
us.
what's natural to you is not natural to someone else? Then
Well, I feel like the problem is that we want to fit in and we want to match with what we think is around us and what we think is the majority. But, like majority is a numbers game, right? It's a statistics.
Yeah.
And the same thing that like, it looks like there is a majority of people who voted for Trump in some ways.
Yeah.
I mean, not the popular vote, but right?
Yeah.
So it may look like the majority of people actually think that like, men should be masculine and women should be feminine. But it's not true, right? Grab them by the pussy. But it's actually not true. It's just people pretend that because everyone thinks that that's what they should be like. So if we should all stop pretending.
When you say every man should be masculine, every woman should be feminine, what does that even mean?
I don't know.
Because that doesn't even make sense to me. It's more, I think you just said.
Oh no, we don't believe that.
No,
I'm just saying people think that they think that society
in other words,
wants them to.
They want it to be more black and white and not honor the fact that each person, man or woman, we have both, right?
Right. They think that that's how they will be more accepted, right?
Yeah.
If they participate in this, cliche of like men be masculine, girls be feminine, which I agree. I mean, it doesn't mean anything at all. It's just. An extreme simplification of the vast variety of like individual, people.
I think it's such
we're
a
all different and unique.
The whole thing. Yeah,
right?
It's very sophisticated, the whole thing, because I think that's one of the reasons why the world is troubled by it. It's so sophisticated. You really have to be thoughtful about it. You can't just like right away, overlook all the nuances of it, all the grayness. Like what is in the gray? A lot.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything is in the gray.
And life is, the interesting part of life, I think, is the gray.
Yeah.
Obviously, you need the black and white to have the gray.
Yeah.
Though. That's the beauty of it, too. You don't want to also judge the black and white if you embrace the gray.
Right. I noticed you've played you've played Jesus. You played like a Christian, the ultimate Jew and the ultimate Christian both.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
I know, right? So,
and I'm a Muslim.
And you're a Muslim.
How poetic is that?
Yeah, I love it.
Full circle.
I know.
I mean, they're all the same, really. They're all connected.
What? And I also love, No. So I also love that you played Saul's son, right? Jonathan, who is like David's, best friend. And so many people have written that they had a homosexual relationship,
and that's
like
what I
a homosexual love.
to be. But then ABC didn't want to go there.
Oh, that's
Network
what happened.
TV, baby.
Yeah. Because many scholars think that like all those songs are full of like gay love, and then Jonathan dies,
Alexander
defending
the Great
Saul.
had the army, the gay army, man.
Oh yeah, and they like fought to the last because they loved each other.
Yes,
the Spartans too. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like because they are in love with each other, they will fight to protect and defend each other. So it made them the best army in ancient
that was like
times.
such a great, satisfying thing to hear. It's like,
exactly.
take that, motherfuckers.
Yeah. The gay men made the best,
because,
best fighters.
Because they consider like gay men, you're not man enough to go fight or whatever, and then you hear something like that. It's like, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But also now the trans people not being allowed in the army, whatever. Yeah.
I know it went backward again, but it's brief. I mean, this whole Trump period is going to have a huge backlash. Yeah.
I mean, I've never. It's never been this way before. This is the first time I've been like exposed to this and to actually understand it, because for a while I was like, I am a woman mentally and emotionally, but I love being a man. So what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not interested in being a trans woman. It's really interesting how you would have trans, but then you have someone like me, and it's like such a.
I mean, I love trans, and I'm very happy and proud that they're out, because they're turning around the general perception.
Yeah.
But I have to say, as a non-American, that I think that Americans in general take things too far.
Yeah.
I think it's their Puritan heritage. So, like, to me, you could just as well be a cross-dresser. And and not have to go through all the pain and suffering and hormones and change your body. So I feel like some people, they have no choice because they are born knowing they are the other gender.
That's it.
They have to be it.
That's it.
Right?
Right? So,
but
because it's kind of painful to go through that.
Doing that to allowing your kid to transition, like when they're 5 or 10, which happens here now. Parents like supporting.
Yeah, I'm against
I feel it's too young because you don't know.
You're not even sexual at that age.
You're not sexual, and you don't know how they will mature in what.
But there's something interesting about that. I have to say, like I keep thinking about myself when I was a kid. There's an honest pureness or purity about the honest sort of way of a child expresses him or herself, in the sense that it's not so much ever a lie. I mean, I'll never forget, like when I was a kid, oh my God, like I would dress up in my mom's clothes behind her back, of course. It was the most natural thing. I didn't think about it. I didn't try to analyze it. I feel there's something about that when it comes to trans kids as well. It's very natural.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I also agree
because
with you.
When we're kids, we haven't like taken in all that other bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All these,
so we are our actual selves.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't believe the lies that we end up believing when we get older.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's what I mean by the pureness.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I see that. That's a good point. Yeah. Agreed. Okay, so I'm gonna. So you were not in Lebanon. Did you ever live in Lebanon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I lived actually probably the most shaping years of my life were in Lebanon, I think.
Okay, so give me a little bit of the trajectory. So you were born
in the Emirates, Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
United Arab Emirates.
Yeah. So you were born in Abu Dhabi, and then you moved to Lebanon
when I was 10.
Okay.
And then I grew up in Lebanon until 21. So
oh wow.
11 years.
And where was that?
Beirut.
Okay, that was Beirut. Okay.
And I went through, like, experienced several civil wars and Israel attacking, and so
you were, that already had happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, you're right. Yeah.
I moved to Lebanon in 1986, so we had the civil war, and then Israel came also around maybe the 1990 or something like that. The civil war ended then. We had Syria occupying Lebanon. It was just like a mess.
Yeah.
And then I moved to America in
I feel
97 to Michigan, where my aunt lives there. And then from Michigan to New York, just like Madonna did.
So you moved with your family or alone?
No, alone. But my aunt lives in Michigan, so I actually had family in America. Like I basically moved to Michigan.
And you came to America for work? You wanted to do acting?
I wanted to get the hell out of Lebanon. Like I wanted to live. If I stayed in Lebanon, I would have died.
And your brothers are here, or they're still back home?
No, they're all over the place. We're like Jews, like Lebanese people.
Yeah, we are the same. All over.
Like we have 5 million, the population in the world. We have 20 million.
Yeah. That's the Greeks too.
Yeah. So like my sister's in Germany. My other 2 brothers are in Dubai.
Emirates, yeah.
And my mom and my dad just passed away a couple of months ago. My mom is in Lebanon.
Yeah, that's how it is with us. And it kind of makes sense because we belong, but we don't belong. Like the friends I had from Lebanon were very cosmopolitan. So the cliche impression, of like the Arabs in the Middle East, Lebanese are not like that at all. They're much more, in my experience, cosmopolitan.
They're very international people. That travel.
Very international.
Yeah, and then they're exposed to all different cultures, people, so they're less judgmental. Although they're pretty. Arabs are one of the most racist people.
Well, yeah.
I don't know about Greece, but I think Arabs are very racist. I actually was not aware of it until I left Lebanon, actually. Because when you're in it, you don't really... Like, I didn't even know that I had a victim mentality, for instance. Like sometimes when you're in something, you don't see it until something takes you out of it,
when you're in it, you don't have the words to talk about it because that's all you know.
Well, you're not even aware that
out of it.
You think that this is good. What you are, I'm good. I'm a loving person. No, you're a selfish victim.
Yeah. So you left because you felt so constrained by like the lifestyle and the culture, and you had to get the fuck out.
I didn't see a future for myself. I actually was.
And how did you discover acting?
It was. I wanted to be a singer. Like music was my everything. It's still my everything. But it didn't work out. And I actually took an acting class in Lebanon at the Lebanese American University, just like to fulfill some credits, to get some credit. And I saw acting. I was like, that's interesting. Let me try that out. And I actually saw the movie Hamlet with Glenn Close and Mel Gibson, and there was that scene where he's basically almost fucking his mother in bed aggressively, and that is what made me interested in acting. That scene.
Interesting.
Because my mom is my everything, and I just thought, wow, like I'm so curious and interested about this. Like, what is this? Because for me, I would never do that. I want to understand this, and so acting for me became about understanding humanity, I guess.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah,
I loved it.
It's like anthropology or sociology, or kind of like understanding the other by becoming the other. Yeah.
Well, I think that desire came from my childhood, because I was just so alone and lonely, and I kind of like never felt that I was loved the way I wanted to be. And I think it's the desire to understand humanity, so maybe I can get the love that I want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It comes from that deep place.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. But that's like so optimistic, if only I can understand people, I will find the love I want as I want it.
I never thought of it that way.
Instead of like shutting down and be like, oh, no one loves me,
I was very curious, because I've always been a very loving person.
So you came to America, and then 9/11 happened.
Yep.
And then you're a Muslim.
I was in New York, in Manhattan. I was in Manhattan when 9/11 happened with my ex-wife, and she's Muslim as well. And we're staying home. Do not leave the fucking house.
Right. And now you're like, okay, I'm going to go out and try to get parts.
No, I was still singing at the time.
Okay.
I didn't get into acting. So I moved to New York to pursue singing. I recorded about 30 songs, and this is how. Well, anyways, I recorded about 30 songs and produced some of them, wrote the lyrics. And then 9/11 happened, and the music had some Middle Eastern in it, because I was like, I'm gonna also put my identity in there.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we don't, like, after 9/11, it's like, we don't know if there's an audience for this. And I'm like, well, like, I felt like I'm not going to change my sound. It didn't make sense to me. I felt like that's what I had to offer. And so a friend of mine is like, why don't you get into acting? Because he knew that I had been interested before, and I took an acting class. And that's why I actually started doing it, pursuing acting late. Like, I was almost 30.
Wow.
Yeah. So
cool. So that's inspiring too.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, like, a lot of people start much earlier, and like, there's a lot of actors, right? Trying to
oh my God, there's so many actors
like,
trying to make it.
People keep telling me, like, Haaz, like, what you were able to accomplish in the period of time that you did.
Yeah, it's
some
great.
People have been doing it for 30 years, and So.
Well, you have talent.
Well, thank you. I was very insecure. I was not confident. I questioned myself. I didn't believe in myself. I had the victim mentality. And I'm surprised, even now looking back, I'm like, how the hell did I manage to do what I did with all of these things that I had to fight? Because literally, I can tell you, when I would do a play, I would be shaking before I get on stage.
Yeah.
Shaking.
Yeah, but I think that makes you a better actor. I mean, that's like my little, I haven't like really put this theory to a test, but I feel that the actors who say that they're super nervous and it's very stressful. Well, Laurence Olivier was one of them. Yeah. So like he's the first one. Yeah.
Well, someone say if I'm not nervous, I should be concerned.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But see, for me though, it's connected to this. It's connected to me being inauthentic. So me being inauthentic for so long fucked me up. Can I curse on this?
Yes.
Thank you.
You can.
I love to curse. It really fucked me up being inauthentic, because I, as an artist, like, the most important thing, the number is to be authentic, because then you have access to your full self. Right. How else are you going to be able to touch people if you're not your true authentic self? Yeah. And so for me, that was like really difficult for the longest time. And so now after I came out, I'm having a ball. I'm having the best time as an actor. I'm enjoying being creative. I'm a much better actor. It's amazing how when you have your full self, you're not wasting your time on things that are lies or things that don't matter. Then you have all of yourself to use. You know.
So what are you working on now?
Okay, I'll tell you, but I can't tell you too much details because I think Marvel would kill me. Marvel. Yeah. The Eternals. Yeah. Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm married to one of them. Eternals.
Wow. Wow.
Should I just say it? Who cares?
Who cares?
I have a husband. And So he's the first gay superhero.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
We have
Oh
a
my
kid.
God.
We have a kid, so
Oh
we're
my
fathers.
God.
And
Oh
it was
my
just
God.
so
I
beautiful
love
to
it.
me.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We already shot most of it,
Wow.
but I still have to finish in December. But it's
Wow.
so wonderful for me and him to like actually get the chance to show the beauty of two men with a child as parents. It's just beautiful.
And who are also like superheroes. I mean, that's
Well,
the
he's
main
the
thing. Well, he's the
superhero,
superhero.
yeah.
Okay,
It's like,
doesn't
I'm
matter.
enjoying his powers. Yeah. Wink, wink.
Yeah, that's the ultimate question. Is wait, is he a superhero in bed?
Oh my God, can you imagine the fetishes that you can actually...
Yes.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
I want one too.
Now my imagination's going wild. I bet you have a great imagination.
I
you.
do. Oh my
I would
God.
actually love to get a
You know,
two-hat.
when I was
really
a kid,
would.
speaking of like the things you imagine when you were a kid,
Yeah.
I would masturbate to like stories in mythology about Zeus, like turning into sunlight and
How come I
fighting
never thought of
Semele.
that?
And I was like, he's fighting her as the sunlight in her vagina. And I'm like going at it, you know. Or then like, you know, Zeus transforms into like a cow or
like, okay, never mind.
Neptune, Poseidon transformed into like this gorgeous white bull, and he fucked Minos'
God.
wife, the queen.
Damn.
Right?
Wow.
And I would go hours like masturbating, thinking I'm fucking this white bull who is a god.
What a
right?
cultured
And then I give birth to Minotaur. Like, I don't know where I'm going.
I'm just
I
saying, you're
know.
a cultured, sophisticated masturbator.
I know,
You should
I was
do
a very
You should
sophisticated
do like a
masturbator.
podcast, like how to masturbate sophisticated.
Exactly, I should. I would masturbate to like, what's his name? Oh my God. Do you remember that Jewish leader, Dayan, I think was his name. And he had like an eye patch. He was an Israeli prime minister. And I have a fetish for the eye patch.
Really?
Eye patch.
So
I was like 5.
Are you turned on by Madonna's Mad Max?
Nah.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's very fake.
I know. It's,
Yeah.
It is. It's,
Yeah. No.
Well, I had the whole
I'm turned on by the
whole,
real
like,
thing.
I'm a spy for you. I was like, girl, you're not. And then,
No,
like,
you're not, babe. No.
And it's like, and she's
But I
my
am
baby.
turned on by yeah. Oh no, me too. I love her. I
but
love
I'm
her
like,
work.
yeah.
But this specific
Yeah.
incarnation, I think
Yeah.
it's a little too staged, right?
Yeah, I think here's why. I think she's such a big superstar that
she's
of course it makes sense
amazing.
that she's trying to empower people in that way. But
Right.
she did it
Yeah.
best back in the days when
Yeah.
she did.
Yeah.
No one
Yeah.
did it as good as she did.
Agree. Yeah.
The
But I do
honesty,
love her.
yeah.
Yeah. But I remember. I would masturbate to oh God, what's that Cuban the Cuban rebel guy? Gaddafi also.
Oh, so you
Gaddafi, because he would wear like those outfits
With, like,
that were like like girl like
The robe or like
the robes that were all embroidered.
access.
I know, and I was like, oh God, these outfits.
Actually,
And he was hot when he was young. And I would look at those photos because, I didn't have like video. I mean, it was like the island of Crete where, I grew
no
up.
internet, maybe.
Right. There was no internet, so I had to take the photos. But that's the thing. They
Yeah.
broke the cliche. All of
Right.
these people like presented in ways that were like masculine and feminine
Yeah,
at once.
totally.
Right? There was like a lot of
That's what Prince to me is.
Yeah,
fascinating,
Prince,
David
wow.
Bowie,
Yeah.
but Prince to me was.
David
I don't know.
Bowie I
Do you
never
think-
thought
what
was
do you
hot
think?
because he was very mental. Like
Yeah,
the
he
whole
was.
thing stayed mental.
He was British, so
British.
British people are not very from here.
no,
They're from,
no.
like here.
Right, yeah.
They think here, not from here.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Latinos or Latin
The
people.
fire. Yeah, we need the fire
That's
in
where
the
they're good in
loins.
bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm in Miami.
Touche, girl,
mean,
touche.
yeah. That's why we're
those
not in London.
Huh? Yeah. Come to think of it, there is though a difference between Cubans, let's say, and Mexicans. Not like a judgment.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting thing that I just thought about. I want to ask you something that I'm very curious because I think you're very smart, and I love how really genuinely connected you are with your sexual body. Do you understand fetishes? How deeply do you understand them? And the reason why I'm asking this is this. How much of what kind of fetish you have comes from your childhood upbringing, or is it some partly genetic and combined with your childhood, and what shapes it? What makes you have certain fetishes? Is that something that you look into?
Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, I have my theory. I mean, I can't say that but my theory, having read a lot about it, is that it does come from childhood, early childhood, and it's really arbitrary in the sense that everyone's brain is unique, right?
Yeah.
So, like you and your brother, you could have a twin or you could be triplets, and you could all be exposed to the same stimuli.
Interesting.
The same, dramatic
So that's
enactment.
the genetic part too.
Right. The same dramatic enactment of something that happens in the family unit, right? So the mother and the father, who are the first lovers, in who are teaching us, and the first betrayers and all of that, right?
Yeah.
So those emotions happen before there is a physical aspect to them, but the way that your mind will interpret something is you. So your sibling, your twin, may not see it that way.
Right.
Our brains are made to protect us and to save us from hurt. So how we interpret something is kind of specific to how our brain works from day zero, right? From the day we come out. But the mind's job is to turn what hurts us into something that is good for us.
But why is the fetish good for you? Why?
Because the fetish is pleasurable.
No, okay, but one second. So why this specific fetish your brain or your body decided is good for you? Just because it gives you pleasure, but
because it gives you again the power that was denied you.
Oh,
right?
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. Wait,
Yeah.
let me just please. I have to think about that.
Yeah.
It gives you the power that.
So you
gave
take
up.
a scenario,
It gives you
and
the
by
power that you gave up.
fetishizing it, you take your power back.
Wow. Actually, I think you're right because that's how I feel when I actually, do that.
Yeah.
Even though I'm like being submissive in my fetishes.
Right.
Which feels like, no, it's kind of like, well, this is making
Right.
me more unworthy. But no, actually, it does the opposite.
It does
I'm
the
getting
opposite.
back my power.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I was always confused.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is it like it's not making sense to me? I was
And
like,
that's why fetish is so healthy,
Yeah,
Which we should come out and say it's so healthy for everyone to.
I think globally we have an issue with that. Though.
We do.
Yeah, I think
We have a huge
I think
issue.
you need to be the new prophet for that. The new fetish prophet. No, really.
The fetish prophet.
Because I actually, here's the thing. I really think fetishes, it's like so deep, like you're saying.
It's
and
so deep.
And
it's
I think
primordial shit because it's
Yeah.
before we have language. We create those things, those things like grow in us before
Yeah.
we have the words to express them, right?
Yeah.
That's why they're so powerful and so real. Because
yeah.
they're like way early. That's our how every culture has like a cosmogony, right? A story of how the world came to be.
Yeah.
Or, every religion too, like Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Well, every human does too.
Yeah.
We start basically super young, day one, to create the story of us, right? In which we are the main character. And we understand the world by telling us this story.
Right.
So the fetish, or what later becomes the fetish, is like a very important early whatever event or dramatic, what we perceived is something, powerful and dramatic that began to shape us. It's something that got our attention.
Right.
Whatever it was, it really made us notice. It made us feel.
But then, like age
right?
7, I'm looking at men's feet.
But
so
by
what
then
the
you're
fuck does that
already
mean?
done. It already has happened. Now,
What has
now it
happened?
expresses itself.
But, I
But
mean,
like the
what could have
stimuli was
happened?
already before. Age
I
7
don't
is
even
old.
remember.
Yeah, you don't remember because you don't have
damn it.
language, right? And we don't really need, we don't need to go to a shrink and remember. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like, it's just knowing that that's how it works is enough.
Yeah.
Because, you don't need to fix it. You just turn it into pleasurable. For example,
You don't judge it.
You don't judge it. Yeah. Like, people who, like, let's say you have a rape fantasy, and that's what turns you on, right?
yeah.
It turns you on to imagine that you're being forced to
Yeah,
have sex,
yeah.
which for a woman especially, but both genders, it's very problematic politically
Yeah.
because you want to tell the person, you're dating, I want you to pretend, to walk in, and I will say no, and you will do this and this and this, and you will just rape me,
Yeah.
and be brutal,
Yeah.
and so, well, this goes against your politics, clearly.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to say, this is not what I want in real life. We're pretending, but it does turn me on. And you think, well, why would it turn me on to be, the victim. Why would that turn me on, right? No, it turns you on because you're in charge of it. Because the rape is what gets you off. You see, that's how you turn it around completely, and it's you're in control, and you are like reaching your greatest pleasure.
But then we were talking earlier about you should be open and not just you what you want.
Right. Well, if it's the only thing you like, then forget it. Then maybe therapy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm in therapy.
But hopefully, you kind of can vary the scenarios a little bit.
It's mad in my head. I'm driving you crazy right now.
Ask your lover, what's your fantasy? Let's do yours, and your lover will be like, okay, I want to be a merman or something. I don't know.
That would be kind of inconvenient.
Yeah, I want to reenact that movie. Let's fill up the bathroom with water.
It's like dolphins. Yeah, pretend they're dolphins when you're having sex.
Yeah, people pretend to be all kinds of animals, fairy animals. The thing is, I don't want to oversimplify it, which is what people tend to do. Right. So forgive me for oversimplifying for a moment. Yeah. But let's say that you were humiliated as a kid by a dominant father or someone, a brother or something. Somebody talking down to you all the time, making you feel small, right? So then, as an adult, you take that and you turn that into your pleasure, and that's how you get power back from it. Yeah. You take away from it its power to make you feel bad because you've made it into something that makes you feel good. It's that switch.
Wait, that's on me. That's
yeah.
Now you actually really it registered finally.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's how you got it. Turn it into something pleasurable.
Yeah.
Not from the past where it was painful. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I better keep
reclaiming
honoring those fetishes.
Yes.
No, because now that you said that, I actually have.
It's healing. It's psychological healing.
I've been really heavily judging them, and so I've been working on that, and I'm making a lot of progress. I'm now really enjoying it more than I've ever enjoyed it before.
That's great.
But I still have work to do. And so it's I was just talking to my ex-wife yesterday, and I was telling her about an experience that I had in London with a guy, and I shared with him my fetish. I'm like a kid. I'm honest. I'm very genuine.
It's lovely.
And then, some people are thrown off by it. They don't get it. They think I'm a weirdo, but it's really, I'm a big kid. It's really,
that's beautiful though.
So I was like,
because that's the truth place.
Yes.
Right. And the genuine, what you called. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I want people like that in my life.
Right.
Because I think someone like me, it's hard, like you, in a way you're very loving, you put your others ahead of you.
Yes.
And then you feel like with me, people that see that in me take advantage of me.
Exactly.
Because I actually see the best in people usually.
Yeah.
And then this guy, it was a beautiful connection between me and him. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Okay, that's interesting. I really like him. And so it just came out. I was being a kid with him. I was being silly. We're being playful. And I shared with him one fetish. He was like, huh? He was shocked. I was like, are you okay? He was like, no, I've never done this. And I'm like, no, don't feel bad. It's new for me. Then I found out later on that he actually was judging me. And so I completely cut it out. So for me, it really affected me to have somebody make me feel judged about it because I was already judging it myself. You know what I mean? And so I realized, it really hurt me that I felt judged by him. I still have work to do, right?
Yeah. Because
if I didn't care, that means I'm good. That means I'm at peace with it, right?
Yeah. And you really don't want to care. I mean, if anything, your job is, like you said, the prophet. I think part of our job while we're being sexual with people is to proselytize them, to being free, to help the people that we're intimate with, letting go of their shit. Yeah. Because people have so much, and we need help from each other.
Yeah, of course.
In, sexual healing, and that's part of how you do it, by example. Yeah. So if you find out that he's judging, you call him on it, but lovingly, not aggressively, not why did you judge me, blah, blah, blah. Right. But you really missed the point here. Yeah. I thought that, you were open-minded enough, and this is why, and this is what it's about for me. And if you use that kind of language, they're gonna have to come around or feel like assholes.
But this is the part where I wish I was more a man, more like a man in that sense. I'm more like a woman in that where it hurts my feelings. I'm so sensitive. I just and it makes me feel undesired. And then as soon as I feel undesired, I pull away.
Down. Yeah.
I pull away.
Yeah, I have to say I do that too. Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
I said yay because
Terrible.
I'm like, I said yay because I'm like,
too.
You're doing amazing, so I have hope.
But I do. It's like, it's one of my flaws. I just like shut down.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm out of here. And it's self-protection. Come on.
Yeah.
I know it is,
okay,
you know.
So it's not like a bad thing that I...
No, it's not a bad thing, but it's not a good, like, I should be like bigger than it,
not take
but
it
I'm
personally and not like basically I think if you have a strong sense of self, nothing can shake you.
Right, nothing can shake you. Yeah, but I'm the same way. I'm like, but then I tell myself, you know, I mean, the truth is also like you have to feel a lot of desire from whoever you're with.
Yeah.
Like that's the goddamn, you know, motivator, that's the engine, right?
Yeah.
So if you feel any kind of hesitation in their desire, that kind of like stops the whole revving that's happening
For
between
me, for
you
sure.
naturally.
But not everyone's like that though. Some people don't care.
Yeah, some people are not that sensitive. They're not picking it up.
So it is the sensitivity,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what makes you a good lover. Because you can feel who you're with.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
absolutely. Baby.
Yeah.
I absolutely like completely kind of mimic the rhythm of the person I'm with.
Yeah.
Like no matter what.
Yeah,
like,
you create like a magical world and people like go in it and they're like, wow, what just happened?
And I think that's why I'm sensual because of my sensitivity. I don't know if that's how it is.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself sensual?
Yes, I consider myself very.
What made you think that you were sensual?
What makes me think that I'm sensual?
Yeah, what made you?
Because I feel everything like more heightened than I would say most people that I've been with.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, if you do something to me and I'm screaming and then I notice like, you know, 30 people I've been with, when I do it to them, they're not screaming and I have to do it like much longer and lead them to that space and kind of like teach them. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, I've never felt that before. So I'm like, shit, you know, I must be like more sensitive because like I have felt it from the get-go.
Right.
Like I didn't, you know, it's like some people are masturbating very young and some people masturbate late and some people don't masturbate that often or some people are very goal oriented and I feel like I want to help those people open up and not be so focused on like the orgasm because there is a lot that you know you can
like
get in
the goal, the destination rather than the journey.
Yeah.
Enjoy the journey, baby.
Yeah, it's in the dance. It's not a destination, right?
I mean, once you get to that destination, like it's over.
I know, especially for guys because it's, you know, and you want to tell them, no, you don't even understand. Like you don't
sometimes
even
I think men are so limited in the
they're so limited.
Look at me. Sometimes, and I'm a man, and I'm saying sometimes. I think isn't that funny that I said that right now?
Yeah.
Like
no, but men, okay, straight like heteronormative men, you know, can be so limited because really,
hell yeah. Are you kidding me?
Because like they think there is only one orgasm, and that very basic orgasm for men, like once they have it, they're kind of done. They need to recharge, you know, or for.
And what about like how men don't?
But
really
there are more
care.
orgasms for men. I mean, you can have like your prostate. If you're a straight guy, you don't know anything about your prostate and what it makes you feel. Like period. That's like a huge, like a huge thing that's missing.
Yes, totally. But I feel like, what about like also like men? Not so much interested or invested in finding out how a woman feels, what is the best way to move a woman, touch her. Like that's not something that they talk about or are interested in. Like what do you make out of that?
Well, you know, I think that like I mean things have got
patriarchy.
I think that things have got better.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in our mom's generation, no one would eat them out. I'm sorry.
There are many women in the world that fake orgasms.
Yeah.
So what is that? Like
that's true.
Yeah.
Women can, and if we, you know, if
that means men don't give a fuck about making sure that they, you know.
Yeah, and it also means that people, you know, the female orgasm is like so intriguing, exactly, and sophisticated.
I always wanted to have a female, a real one, not like a trans.
Not like. Yeah.
I was like, I wish for like I don't know a year.
I know.
Like, be a woman and enjoy sex as a woman. I bet. When my ex-wife told me,
I wanted to be a boy so bad.
You made me have 10 orgasms, multiple orgasms right now. Like I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, women can have them. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah. And the
so
more
jealous.
you orgasm, the more you want to orgasm.
Oh,
It
wow.
doesn't stop.
Yeah.
That's that's the beauty of
Damn,
it.
yeah.
And also I did an episode about squirting because that's like a huge thing, where the woman comes and she
Oh,
comes
yeah.
much more
Yes.
than the guy.
Yeah, I've seen videos.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, that's like the orgasm that you can't fake, for example.
yeah,
I mean,
you can-
there are many ways for a guy to read a woman's body and know if she's coming or
Of
not.
course, yeah.
Like it's right there in the
It's just
vagina.
being thoughtful.
Just look at the goddamn vagina. Like how
Just being thoughtful,
how
caring.
swollen is it? I mean, you can tell. The body is full of tells.
Yeah, I feel like it's
So-
almost like a thoughtful, caring thing.
Right.
And I think it's not so thoughtful nor caring that you don't really pay attention to that stuff. It's
Yeah.
just, I think
Yeah.
being simply
But
thoughtful.
still, like more guys, I think now, like many more guys try. It's kind of like they know that they should make her come a little bit, clitorally. Like so, like I think they've all every guy out there of a certain, not maybe
Yeah.
the super old, but
Yeah.
everyone else has eaten pussy, which is a big accomplishment because
I'm sorry.
has eaten pussy.
Oh, right, okay.
right, and like. Our parents' generation, that hadn't happened.
Right.
At least not in our part of the world.
Right, yeah. I mean, and culturally, that applies culturally. everywhere
Culturally,
we-
like it didn't even occur to them. Like if you told them you have to go down on your wife, they would be like, "What? What? What you call that?"
I was about to share information about my someone.
Yeah.
And I almost said who that someone is.
Yeah.
Because now I can still share it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't tell you who. But
Yeah.
there's someone in my life who's married to an Arab woman. And she's in her, I think she's like my age, like 43 or something like that, 43, whatnot. Very strong, powerful woman, independent. She married before, divorced, and then got married again. And she never sucked a dick. Ever. She didn't. No. It gets better. She didn't know that you suck a dick until she married the person I'm telling you about. And he was like, huh?
Wait. She lived where? Where?
I don't want to say because then
Okay.
I feel
well,
like
in general, she lived in one
an
of
Arab
the
culture-
Okay, in
Arab
an Arab
culture,
culture. Yeah. That happens. That happens.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom didn't know that you suck dick.
my mom. Oh no.
She found out, but I was already like out of the
Your mom
house.
didn't- yeah, because it's also from an
Yeah.
older generation.
And she would
yeah.
be like, so when we talked about it and I talked about sex, and she talked about sex very openly with me.
Yeah.
Like she came, when I was in my room, I'll never forget, and she came and she told me she thought she had come for the first time. I was like 11 or something. What? I know. But
How did
but
you
when we
take
talked
that
about,
at
when
age 11?
Oh, I
How
was
did you-
happy for her. I
But
don't
did
know.
you understand what she said?
Oh yeah, I understood what she said.
But did
I
you
was
have-
protective of my
But you
mom.
didn't like have an orgasm at age 11. You
No.
didn't know what it was.
I knew what it was. Yes, I knew what it was. I was already like, I was highly sexualized.
I actually used to have orgasms at age 9 and 8.
Yeah, I think around then, I don't know when, but like in the bathtub, reading. And I would like, this is how funny it is, because of course we didn't have any porn in the house. So like, I think my first masturbation, I was reading Shakespeare's Anthony and Cleopatra.
Okay. All right.
And
That's
I kept
inspiring.
reading like the same couple of sentences that I found erotic again and again and again in the bathtub.
And the milk, covered in milk. God knows what kind
who
of milk.
knows what? Yeah.
Yeah.
His milk.
I mean, it's a lot of milk.
But he was like, the Roman emperor or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
So
He's got a lot of milk.
milk.
He's got Roman.
But anyway, my point is, I remember describing to her, like oral sex, giving head,
Yeah.
and she kept saying, "But they pee from there. What if they like accidentally have pee? What if they accidentally
Oh my
pee in
God.
your mouth?" I'm like,
never
forget
thought of
golden
that,
showers.
actually. Yeah.
But yeah, like she didn't understand the difference between the peeing penis and the fucking hard penis, which is a total different animal,
Yeah.
right? But it was so hard for her in her mind to figure it out, having not experienced it, right?
Yeah, anything you learn at
She's
an older age becomes very strange. Yeah. Harder for you to like kind of make sense of it.
Yeah.
But I have to say, having sex in Lebanon, ooh, baby.
Ooh, that's so hot.
There's something about,
Yeah, because it's so real.
I had a threesome there.
Wow.
Yeah, I never thought that would ever happen. Like,
Wow.
I was like, oh, in Lebanon? No way. I had
Wow.
a fucking threesome. It was like, the most beautiful Bertolucci movie. Have you ever seen Bertolucci movies?
Yes, I love them. Are you kidding me?
Like
my God.
Like the naked bodies are so natural.
Yes, I love Bertolucci.
It's very sexy to me, like
all
when it's
of it.
natural.
Yes,
it's like
yes,
real,
yes,
real
yes,
human beings,
yes,
real,
yes,
not like those
yes.
pornos. But I actually lived that in Lebanon. There was like a sense of freedom, but a rawness. Like I think for me, my favorite place are like, cities to have sex with are cities that are very like raw and unfiltered, uninhibited, where it's like there's no censorship. Like you don't censor. Anything goes, everything goes. And just a sense of like connecting to your animal side. Not being afraid of that. Honoring that maybe.
Right.
Being free. Really, I'm talking about like not caring how your face looks.
Exactly.
Because your face could look really intense in those.
Oh yeah. Your friend's face can look deranged.
Sometimes it's good, for it to be like that. Not always, but sometimes it's great.
Not everyone can take the lights on for that reason. You're like,
even myself, it's like if I saw myself and I'm like, oh my God, like, what? Like it's
it must be
weird.
Stranger for an actor because like you have a different relationship to your image because you see your image out there.
Not really. For me, I never like see myself as how maybe my fans see me. I never.
Or as the camera sees you, no?
No.
That's good.
It's not interesting to me, but that's not my truth. I know my truth. And I'm always fascinating to try to bring out my truth in the best way possible because I feel my obsession with that is I've lived a lie for most of my life. So I'm allergic to lies. That's so great. Honest that I get myself in trouble.
I love it. I agree with you. I think that's the only way to be. It's like radical honesty where, and you can tell people, like you meet people, you're going to get close to, you're like, this is who I am. It's, I mean, I call it radical honesty because the word radical tells them that they're in for the unexpected.
Yes.
Right? So don't take shit personally.
Right? Like real honesty can be very uncomfortable. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth.
Well, it's hard for people who
are not strong enough maybe to hear the truth or not wise enough to hear the truth.
It's just about not taking things personally, which for sure you don't mean it.
Wise enough to take
right, exactly.
Then you would be wise if you actually didn't take it personally, right?
Yeah, because it's always much more about you than them.
Always.
So if they could get out of themselves.
But it's always more about them than not you. Yeah, right.
It's like you who are speaking, it's about you much more than them, right? So like if you're telling me, I really don't like this about you, I think to myself, oh, what does that tell me about you? I don't think to myself, I have to like change myself because he doesn't get me.
I used to be that way most of my life though.
Right, but it's about you. It's like, okay, he's telling the truth about himself, right? Let me try to like understand him and translate him in something that makes sense about him.
Which
He's
is a
not
lovely
telling
thing
me
to
about
do.
me, right? So if we kind of like get away from this thing, like it's all about you as the listener, and no, it's about the speaker, right?
Interesting.
Then it becomes much more real. Like the relationship becomes more, again, honest.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe we can like open each other up a little. So anyway,
emotionally and physically,
physically
and emotionally and mentally. Let's not forget the head.
Yeah, let's not forget the sapiosexual.
Although I'm like so over that part, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's because like that's the easier part,
I've fucking like it's been on overdrive for so long. It's overgrown, too big. I need to grow the other side.
Get out of our heads.
Like not to be too heady. Because being heady really disconnects from your sexual being and
totally.
You know what I mean? Like, and because that's the part that judges. That's the part that fucking analyzes. That's the part that conditions. You gets conditioned to really rob you from your fullness of being human, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna. This is something that I have a lot of difficulty sharing or explaining with people because it's exactly there is a moment there. Because, like when we have sex, we kind of get out of our heads at some point. And that's when it gets good. It gets good when we can let go.
Not being self-conscious.
And not be self-conscious, right? Totally, and not remember or think like what you were saying, what we look like. We don't think about it anymore.
I even think sex could be funny. Like I sometimes be having sex and I'm
so funny.
I think I'm in a very funny position.
And you're laughing. Me too.
And you're like, are you not having a good? I'm like, no, it's just, don't you think sometimes sex is funny?
I think it's funny. I always laugh. I always laugh after orgasm.
Right.
Like if
wow.
I'm happy, if I have a good orgasm, then I laugh. Like
I love that.
It's
I wish
uncontrollable.
I
It's like
don't.
real laughing.
I love that. I wish I was like that. No. Do you know why?
No, but I always have.
Don't ruin it. Don't analyze it. Don't be in your head.
I always have. You know, I don't know if people feel weird.
No, I think I know what it is. I think it's your inner child.
Yeah.
I think sex for you connects you to your child self. I think that's beautiful to me.
It's like
because
play.
There's a pureness to it. It's not coming from a place that is dirty, or it's like nothing wrong with dirty. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Because I love being dirty sometimes.
Yeah.
Or many times. I love to. I think what's great about sex, it gives you an excuse to be bad and dirty and nasty, and that's great.
Yeah.
To have a break from being like proper and like,
exactly.
you know what I mean? Like
being the way that you think you should be.
So refined, like rigid and stuff. Like no,
rigid
just,
or
which
like
is really the animalistic side.
Exactly.
No?
Not the work. You know, the whole like costume that you put on to go to work, or to parent or whatever.
But you know,
it is.
there are customs also in sex. Just
yeah. No, I love the costumes in sex.
Do you? Yeah,
yes.
I actually don't.
Yes.
I don't like toys. I don't like anything on the body, like naked. I don't want nothing. Like I want to see you fully naked. That's what turns me on.
Wow.
Yeah. And nature. Like
I love nature too.
Nature, like I actually become a child, a very sexual child actually.
I love nature too. Even though it's harder, you know, in America especially, to go out in nature and have sex because
I mean,
you have to kind of
I mean, I actually
drive for a while.
I did it a lot because I go camping.
You go camping.
Then you go somewhere in the woods and you're good. Yeah. It's amazing. It's the best. I mean, the best sex I've had was in nature.
Yeah, I love sex in nature or in other kind of like special public places also. Yeah,
I mean, that could make me a little bit nervous.
Location is really important. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's that sort of that danger, right?
Yeah, the danger.
I mean,
and also like the taboo. You know, like being a little sacrilegious. That's a turn on. You know, again, it's like reclaiming something that was forbidden for no fucking reason, right? So sexualizing it makes it special,
right?
You know, and then you have like a memory, like a sexual memory of a place that otherwise has nothing sexual about it, you know. Like when I was young, I was like, oh, you know, I want to have sex in like my bank, my supermarket. So like when I go back, like I think of that. And
where would you have sex in the bank?
I know, right? I did I was very ambitious with like sexualizing my entire public
under the desk
experience.
of one of the workers.
Yeah, so I would make it more fun than to have a daily life, which otherwise is boring. You know, like how can I make my errands fun? Oh, I know. I'll create sex memories.
I mean, that's good. Life is but all memories, right?
Life is, that's, you make it better. You make it more fun. But anyway, what I was saying before, and I'm backtracking to where we spoke about letting go, right? So for me, what's difficult, but what's the challenge, like what really we should aspire to do sexually, is be able to be both conscious and unconscious. So that's where that like laughter comes in, right? So in orgasm, you're unconscious, you come back into consciousness and you laugh. That's like my way, my example. But I feel
you
that...
You don't think the laugh is still the subconscious though?
It is the subconscious, But that's what returns me to awareness. Right,
Got it.
But on the other end, as we begin, that's the transition that's more like difficult and more challenging, because there is a moment, and it's different for all of us, right? When we are no longer we as we know, as our parents know us, or whatever, as our fans know us, right? We are just our sexual self without much other consciousness. But to go that moment, or that series of moments of transition, to use a word that has now is used only for gender change.
No, we can use it.
I think we can use it.
Of course.
So that moment of transition is, I think, like really important, because
from being a child to an adult,
from being like conscious So in your conscious self, like the self of flirting or, talking, foreplaying, to like completely letting go and having sex.
Got it.
That transition moment, I think, is where it's all at. Because sustaining consciousness, like for
how
me,
do you transition into that?
Exactly. How do we each transition? Like being conscious and being aware of that, I think makes a big difference. Because the more conscious we can be into that transition, the healthier it is. Right? Because it's not a denial of the self. It's not like I'm no longer myself. Right now, it's all you. Right?
I mean, look. I'm 43. I would say that it's a little bit tricky. So give and take 2 years, minus plus whatever. Late 30s maybe. Like I think up until my late 30s, I'm 43. So basically most of my life, I can say I never enjoyed sex 100%. I had sex that was only maximum 50%.
Wow.
So I never got the fullness of it. Now I'm finally Now I'm finally doing that. And it's because of what you're saying. It's because I'm not allowing myself to go to that sort of unconscious sort of freedom.
Yeah.
Always self-conscious. Always watching myself.
Yeah. Like editing yourself.
Yeah. Like thinking, am I attractive enough? Do I look good like now? Does he still think I'm attractive? Like all these different things that I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And
rather than like really being turned on by him and just like enjoying it.
I think that's statistically what's normal. I think that most people.
So I'm not like really.
No, I think that most people get take that long.
I think most people don't really enjoy it 100%. You're right. Yeah. Okay, good. That makes me feel better. Not that the world.
And like it takes them until their late 30s before they get closer into like what they really like. It shouldn't be that way, but that's what it is because we are raised, sexophobic. Yeah, I mean, so we gotta unlearn so much shit.
And I think for me, having a mentor, I learned a lot, and I asked him.
Yes,
he's amazing, and so I asked him, like I'm always like, just hey, like tell me. So I always like to get wisdom from him. So I'm like, but simple. Like I don't like it to be complicated. Like okay, so as an actor, as an artist. In one line, give me, what is the best thing to do to not amplify my creativity, to put my creativity on steroids, man. Like I want it to fucking just like flourish. My creativity, I want it to be a monster, a beast, unstoppable. I want to be able to like take something and just like be so as an actor, right? And he said to me, have the most wildest, uninhibited sex.
Wow.
I was like, huh? I looked at him, I was like, what is wrong with you? I fucking did it. I tried it. It worked.
I know it
When I would like have like certain scenes, oh my goodness, I was like, oh wow, it's amazing how our sexuality is directly connected to our creativity.
God, it's so.
Isn't that interesting though? But what does that mean? Like that to me means that highlights again and again the importance of our sexual life.
Right.
Like we really. We're very reductive of that part of our existence, I think.
I agree. And it's like so vital to our health. Yeah. But also like...
We diminish it, we make it sound like not something dirty or not important. It's as important as love.
I agree.
For me, I put them kind of almost equal, love and sex, or like sexuality.
Yeah. And I agree with you. It's like, and I feel like if everyone listened to your mentor's advice, we would be so evolved as a species. Yeah. If like the 8 billion or whatever, however many you said we are.
Almost. We're good.
Practiced, exactly that. Yeah. We would not be where we are. We wouldn't be like, fighting each other and killing each other. And I feel we would be much more evolved.
I think the world would be a much better place.
Because it doesn't contract
each other over land.
Yeah,
it's part of the innate thing.
But the sex, like most of the time we contract and the sex expands us, right? So if you're from that place of like expansive energy.
Perfect what you just said, because that is very articulate, because for me that exactly is my experience.
Right.
Like every time I have sex, I do feel that expansion. Right. It's like this sort of openness. and if I don't have it for a while, I feel so tight and and the energy
and the contraction, the tightness is what makes you aggressive. It makes you fight. It makes you compete. It makes you feel like attacked. It makes you paranoid. Whatever.
Yeah, you feel
all
like
of
it's
that
not
bullshit.
moving. It's like rigid or like stale, and then sex makes everything move, and your frequency, your vibrations, everything is
so like take Islam, right? If Muslims could feel the religion from a place of expansion instead of like that contracted state of like, they hate me, this, like the different types of I don't want to like say Sunni or Shia or whatever, but all of those like really narrow-minded, inherited hatreds and inherited prejudices, right? From a place of expansion, they would just make no sense. They wouldn't make sense, so you wouldn't live by them.
It's like eating to me. It's like really like sex is like eating. And so for me, it's all ridiculous. Like like
I agree with you.
Regardless of what culture.
If we could all be like more creative, we wouldn't be so easy to brainwash. Right?
Yeah.
Because we would have access to our own truth and be able to express it.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Amen to that.
No, I mean that's a very good point too, actually, because it is about control, right?
Yeah. They want to control us. I mean that's
and they do that by weakening. Like even like religion, I think is a matter of control too.
Yeah,
and
organized religion.
But I don't think everything about religion is obviously bad.
No, faith is great.
But I think like I think what I don't like is when organized religion makes you not honor the fullness of what it means to be human. I'm like, but wait, guys, like, hey, we're talking about God, right? He created, or he, whatever, created all of this.
Yeah.
And God decided you shall have sex and it will be pleasurable.
Yes.
Why the hell does he give us that and we're not going to? What's the point then of having it?
Exactly.
Right? I feel like...
like
I think in life, like if you don't have lust or desire, it's just like it really is such an important aspect.
Right. How are you alive without
if
desire?
We don't enjoy it, we have pleasurable like taste buds. When we use the bathroom, it's also pleasurable. So it'd be to make us want to do it. Same with, it's almost sex is there to make us want to live this life.
Yeah,
be on this planet.
I agree.
It's that important.
Yeah, I agree.
Guess what? The world won't exist without sex.
Exactly.
And then, we,
Yeah. But I mean, there is nothing else to do but say these things. Like, there is no other way to change it. Right?
But
then, shout this from the rooftop, so to speak.
No, I mean, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. And we just gotta say it.
Carlos told me about what you guys are doing. I actually was really impressed. And I thought, hell yeah. We need something like that.
We gotta take it and make it more accessible.
Absolutely.
That's the plan. He knows that.
I think you should. And I think hopefully you end up like on a Netflix or even like, I mean, network, you don't want to make cable or something.
Yeah, just like, I don't care what it is really,
no,
but
I mean, the more you reach
accessibility.
that's what I mean.
That's the idea.
I would think then it would be like internet things like Netflix, Amazon. That would be great. I think they need to have shows like that.
They need to.
Do they have shows like that?
No.
Girl, you need to go to Netflix. You gotta think about it. It's actually perfect. Do you know that they have shows for drag queens for RuPaul's Drag Race?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah?
They do.
Okay,
yes,
so
they have shows about the stupidest stuff.
I think your show
and
would be
people
much
watch
more
it.
like universal, and it would be important for all genders, everyone, different ages. It's like a very global, no matter what culture you're in, because you will actually be very international. You have to be. You'll be talking about this culture. Oh, and this culture does that.
Yeah.
You should really look into Netflix.
Yeah,
we are.
It. Oh.
Okay. As long as you demonstrate some,
Oh, I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to try out all the costumes and the toys on the camera.
That's good.
I already do. Even though, sometimes I get a UTI. It's like perks of the job.
You got to do what you got to do in the name of art.
Like too many things that I'm trying. Okay, I'm going to introduce you.
You still haven't been recording?
No, we're recording, but I'm gonna introduce you because that way I have it out. So
that's so interesting what we talked about, by the way. Yeah, it's very interesting, right? Because we were like initially, Carlos was
I know
telling
we
me,
were Carlos was
telling me
everywhere.
earlier. Either you talk about fetishes and kinks, or you talk about yourself. I was like, oh wow, those are two completely different things. And then we kind of like talked about both things in an interesting way. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
it was a wave.
Very natural.
It was a wave. Yeah,
Well,
it was
actually,
like riding the wave for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like you. I can hang out with
you. I like you too.
Be friends with you,
yeah, me too.
I can learn a lot from you. Actually,
yeah, I can be the girl mentor.
I would
mentress.
Honestly, I'm not comfortable talking to people about my fetishes, but I would love like someone like you to have as a friend. And actually bounce off like, hey, so tell me, like, what do you think of that? Like,
damn, let's do that.
No.
Yeah, we should do that. Not on the
No, I mean not like because you live here and I have to like.
You have to do it in person.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Well, then I have to get a gig in LA, don't I?
Yeah,
we can all move
I have
there.
To come more often here.
Or you have to come more often.
Enjoy the Cuban man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I enjoy them too.
What is your type, by the way? Like tall, big, hairy, beards, dark eyes. Well, yeah, we're talking about Cubans. They would be.
Yeah,
like
yeah. I don't have a. I don't really have a type.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like
they have to be hairy.
They have to be hairy. They have to be macho.
Hair,
yeah.
But they have to have sensitive eyes. It's like hair, but with sensitive eyes.
Yeah.
So weird.
Well, for me, like a different type brings out a different like aspect of me sexually. Yeah. So like a feminine man or a much younger man, who's like pale, brings out a top 100% because I feel like, oh my God, I get to do whatever I want with this great object of my lust. So it's a very different sexual like aspect than if I'm, let's say, with a guy who is dark and rugged and bearded, and that type would bring another me out. For sure, because it's just kind of like how I react to.
It's more for me energy.
Energy.
For me, it's more energy and less physical look.
Yeah, me too.
I think the energy of the person makes me.
Me too.
I want you to dominate the hell out of me. No, I want to dominate the shit out of you. But visually,
the energy. It's the energy like 90%.
Okay, physically though, if the person's taller, then that also makes me.
You like that.
Yeah, but then that makes me desire certain things. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, taller, you decide. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like the way they're put together physically kind of affects what you want them to do physically. It's like stage directing.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I'm looking at Carlos. I'm like,
he's tall.
Well, that's why I actually was saying that because I saw him. I was like, and tall guys. Thank you for being inspiration. I know we have to.
So thank you for listening. Thank you for trusting me as your sex whisperer. And go watch
the best video. One. Just saying.
Bye. If I could make love incessantly, I would be God.